After watching this video, you are able to use units and variables. You can calculate the density of a substance, and you can use the 5-step approach. But let's start with a question. How old are you? You might say 13. But so is this girl. And she is 13 as well. The one on the left is 13 weeks. And the one on the right, 13 months. So next time when someone asks you the question how old you are, you would probably say, I am 13 years. Years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes and seconds, they are all units. These are units for time. And in every story, in every question, the time can be different. So that's why we call time a variable. Now there are many variables and many units. So we already talked about time. Now, in physics, many times we use seconds as the unit for time. But it can also be mass, and mass is in kilogram. Or volume, for example, in the milliliter. Now, since we are lazy, we like to have symbols. Now, for every unit, we have a symbol. For seconds, that is the S, kg for kilogram, and M, capital L, for milliliter. We also have symbols for the variables. For time, that is a T, mass is an M, and volume is the capital V. It's important to know if it is a capital letter or not. And I want to introduce a new variable, the variable density. And density is expressed in grams per milliliter, or G/M capital L. We also have a symbol for the variable of density, and that is the Greek letter rho, the Greek letter R. Never ever call this a P. Question 1. A solid object has a mass of 20 grams and a volume of 5 milliliter. Calculate the density. Okay, they tell you two things here about the object. First, they say it has a mass of 20 grams and it has a volume of 5 milliliter. And what is it that they want you to do? They want you to calculate the density. Okay, so they give you mass and volume. Now, this is the data of the question. The first step is write down the data. Now, mass is the M, and the M is 20 grams. So M equals 20 G. And volume was the capital V, so V equals 5 milliliter. And density, that is what is required. That's what they want us to find out. So required is rho equals ... And we already know the unit, that is grams per milliliter. So G/ml. When you know this, you don't have to look at the question anymore, because everything you need to know to make the question is already here. So we know data, we know required. The next step is the formula. The formula that we've learned for density is mass over volume. Or in symbols, that would be rho is M over V. The next step is the workings. And here we're going to substitute the variables for their values. So we're still finding the density, so we start with rho equals, and instead of M, we will write 20G. 20G over 5 milliliters. The next step is the answer. You always start with writing down what you are calculating or what the answer is. And the answer is a density. So Greek letter rho equals 20 over 5, that is 4. But as you remember, A number without a unit is never ever an answer. So the unit that we have here is G/ml, grams per milliliter. Every time I'm asking you to calculate something, this is what you should write down. So this is what you should write down in your notebook now, and this is also what you should write down on a test paper. Now let's do another one. Same question, different numbers. A solid object has a mass of 2 grams and a volume of 3 milliliters. Calculate the density. So again, the data. And what do they want us to do? They want us to find the density. So mass and volume, the data. M is 2 grams and the volume is 3 milliliters. Required is the density, or rho equals. Alright, next step is, do you remember? Formula, and the formula density is mass over volume, so rho equals m over v. For rho equals, instead of m, we write down 2 grams, and instead of v, we write down 3 milliliters. The answer, rho equals, now get your calculators out, 2 divided by 3 is 0.67 grams per milliliters. So again, the same steps, and your notes, they look like this. Let's do one more, but now we're looking at a liquid. And this liquid has a mass of 490 grams and a volume of 490 milliliters. Calculate the density. So data, M is 490 grams and V is 490 milliliters. Now the density is required, rho equals ... grams per milliliter. You see, it's always the same. Step 3, the formula, rho equals m over v, workings, rho equals 490 grams per 490 milliliters. The answer, 490 divided by 490, that equals 1. So rho equals 1 gram per milliliter. So now you're able to use units and variables. You can calculate the density of a substance, and you can use the 5-step approach. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.